guys, Tub Talk 101. Today I want to talk about pointless wood and metal bases and frames for hot tubs. But before we do, I just want to tell everybody, stay safe out there, guys. We still got to continue to social distance, wash your hands, all that good stuff. Here at Atlanta Hot Tub Center, we are not allowing more than 5 people into the showroom at the same time, and we really would appreciate if most folks would do a private in-store appointment, or if they would do a private wet soak appointment here at Atlanta Hot Tub Center before they come up to the store. Again, we're just trying to limit the amount of people in the store so we can keep you and us safe. All right, so let's jump right in. Pointless metal and wood bases and frames. Guys, I think it's first important to understand where this is coming from and what the importance to you is, okay? So let's start with this, and then it will all come together like a puzzle. There are 2 ways they manufacture acrylic shelved hot tubs today. They take a giant sheet of an acrylic, they shove it into a giant oven, and after that, when it starts to melt, they vacuum form it to a shell mold. That's where you get the seats. They flip it upside down and they spray on or paint on a resin, and that resin keeps vapor and water from getting in between the acrylic and the fiberglass. Your cheaper hot tubs in the industry at this point are going to spray on fiberglass chunks, and they're going to flip the tub over onto a grid platform or to the general public a base. Then they're going to take 2x4s and 2x8s, and they're going to go from that base, from that grid platform, to the pressure points on the hot tub. Okay, because something has to support that water weight when you fill it up full of water, right? Well, there's a couple problems here. First things first, shells flex. And over the years, you will drain and refill your hot tub 3 times a year, and every time you fill it up, that shell is going to flex, and you are going to put pressure on that support system, and through an expansion and contraction of the hot tub being outside, and sooner or later, you will lose that support system for your hot tub, and that shell will start to warp. And when it does, you will put pressure on plumbing and jets and everything else in the hot tub, quite frankly, and you will start having leaks and problems. At this point, you have 2 choices. Do you go down the rabbit hole of continuing to fix this thing year after year after year after year, or you replace it? And in this industry, that's what a salesman might say is a temporary hot tub. Sometimes they don't know why, but that's why. It's not a self-supporting hole. It's not a self-supporting shell. Now, for a self-supporting shell, okay, the process of heating up the acrylic in the oven and vacuum forming it and putting on the resin is all the same, except they hand roll the fiberglass on instead of spraying it on, instead of spraying on chunks. They literally hand roll that fiberglass on. When you hand roll on fiberglass, it's 4 times thicker, it takes 15 times longer to do, 10 times more material. But what you end up with is a self-supporting hull. What that means is I can take all the siding, all the framing, everything out of the hot tub, fill my hot tub up, my shell up with water, and that shell will not crack or fall apart or delaminate, right? It's built like a rock, right? And that's what we call a hot tub that is built for one's lifetime. And that's the 2 biggest price differences you're going to see in this industry. A lot of times people say, hey, I can get a hot tub over here for $2 grand. Well, this one's 10 grand. Well, okay, the biggest difference is the shell, guys. That is the biggest difference. Now, normally, again, when you have a self-supporting shell, they also put more time and money into everything else, too, because if you're going to go to the time to create a self-supporting shell, you're not going to go cheap on the jetting and insulation and electronics and all that stuff, too. But we're not going into that today. Again, I want to keep this on bases and frames. If you walk into a store and they try to tell you that they have a steel frame for their hot tub, right? And that is a selling feature. I would tell you that that's not a good selling feature, because if you need a steel frame for your hot tub shell to support it, there's a problem. Immediate alarm is going to go off. So it is very, very, very important that you make sure that you get a self-supporting hull. If you're looking for a hot tub to last you a lifetime, if you're just looking for something for 5-6 years, go buy anything. If you don't care about, hydrotherapy and insulation, water quality, and the hot tub lasting a lifetime and lasting for a long time, well, then really at that point, just go to Costco, go get a Home Depot tub. It really doesn't matter. But again, when we get the self-supporting shell hot tubs, we don't need a base. We don't need a frame. I don't need any of that, right? That stuff's just there so that the siding won't warp, so that the corners of the spa won't warp, that all that stuff will stay in place, right? So again, it's just, quite frankly, it's pointless. Now you do see here and there, you see people talk about rotting bases and rotting frames and things like that. Normally, that is happening, okay? Normally that is happening because the hot tub wasn't sitting in a spot that had water runoff, right? It was sitting on a level concrete slab, and when it rained, it just sat around the base of the hot tub and rotted it out. So it's very, very important that we put a hot tub on a base or in a place that water is going to run off of, and then you actually level the hot tub. So you got the water running off, right? Like on a concrete slab, you got an inch slope. You know, don't level out the concrete slab. No, put the hot tub there, and then we level out the hot tub. You know, we cut wedges and such to level out the spot, and that way when it rains, water rolls off. So really, to me, it doesn't matter if you have a wood base or a metal base or a treated base or non-treated. It really, quite frankly, it doesn't matter as long as the base is just treated and you got water runoff. As long as the water is gonna run off of whatever that platform is. I do, however, like to see wood wrapped in an ABS pan or something along those lines. It's just added protection. But again, if you have a treated wood-based frame and you're putting it into a place that the water is going to run off, right? Then you're in good shape. It's not going to rot. It's not going to fall apart. You know, we restore and refurbish hot tubs here. We do deal with a lot of rot, but usually the hot tub's put in a place where, quite frankly, the water's just sitting next to that wood and it just deteriorates it. But I would say that it is good for an ABS frame. I mean, a metal frame's just overkill. Look, if you need a metal frame for your hot tub, there's a problem. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I mean, a metal frame is just pointless. You're paying a bunch of money, quite frankly, for nothing. I would find a different hot tub and spend more money on other features of the tub, whether that be jetting or water quality or whatever it is. So anyway, listen, Bryan Atlanta Hot Tub Center, and again, really, quite frankly, metal bases, wood bases, doesn't really matter. Guys, if you're picking a self-supporting shell hot tub, yes, it's nice if it's wrapped it with ABS plastic on the base, but really, again, the shell's self-supporting, so it doesn't matter. Even if it did, okay, even if it did, again, hypothetically, if everything rotted off of the sides, the whole entire thing fell apart, and all you had was a shell there, it's still run. It's still not going to crack, break, or fall apart because it's a self-supporting shell. Anyway, this is Bryan Atlanta Hot Tub Center. Pointless, metal, and wood bases and frames. Thanks.